Most people using Claude are basically using a fancy Google search. Ask a question, get an answer, and move on. That's not what Cowork is. Cowork actually does the work for you. It builds files, sends emails, browses the web, and automates tasks while you watch. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to use it with real examples you can copy today. I'm Dipendra. Welcome to the automation feed, and I'm working into AI and automation from last 2 years, and I have been testing every major AI tool almost so that you don't have to. Let's get into it. So first, what even is Claude Cowork? Anthropic makes Claude the AI chatbot, but Cowork is a separate desktop app that turns Claude into an agent. The difference matters. Claude the chatbot is what you ask, it answers, done. Claude Cowork, you give it a goal, it takes steps to complete it. Opening apps, creating files, clicking buttons on your screen. Think of a chatbot as a brilliant advisor, but Cowork is that same advisor who can also execute, like having an intern who actually does the work. Then we have something called Claude Code. That's a topic of another video. Today we'll focus on Cowork. You can download this desktop app free by visiting claude.ai download. However, you will need a Claude Pro subscription. That's $20 a month minimum to try and work with Cowork. This is the kind of interface you will see. And on the left hand side, once the Cowork option is selected, you see an option called new task, project, scheduled, and dispatch options and customize. So when you go to individual options, there are detail options, individual items, right? When you click, you get options. Like if you go in customize, you get an option to add plugins, add connectors, add skills. What are these things? We will touch base upon very briefly on these topics in a while. So very important thing, when you go to a Cowork and click on new task, so the setup, right? Work in a project. So always create a new project here so that the scope on your local machine, the scope is limited and restricted to that particular folder. This is very important. So you can always go and create a new project, start from scratch, because we are creating it for the first time, and we can name it folder organizer or something like that. And you can tell the instructions, and that would be your prompt instructions. These are optional. For now, we will keep it like this. And this is my folder name, and which is gonna created over here on this particular location. I can change that location also. I can go to my drive and I'll say create. So this will create a project for me, and whatever interactions I'll do with Cowork will be restricted and limited to this particular folder. So whenever it creates any artifacts, any files as outcome, all will be stored inside this folder. And this permission, right? Ask before acting. So when in between there is a human in the loop, so Claude is asking us some confirmation. It needs our confirmation or our approval for some tasks to proceed. Use this option, ask before acting, so that it seeks our permission. If we select this option, then it will consider that you have given it permission to proceed further without checking with you. In the right hand side, you can see instructions. So these are blank at the moment because we have not specified anything. In scheduled folder, we have not scheduled this project or this kind of work. And in the context, we have whatever context you give and provide with respect to this folder, it will consider everything. Like if you upload any documents to this folder and ask it to refer, it will have that context, it will have that option to refer it. And then memory, currently we have turned it off. So what I have done is I have created some dummy random files. I have pulled those files into this folder organizer folder, into this particular folder, so that Claude has access to it. And I have moved all my temporary files which were in downloads folder, and I want this Cowork assistant to organize those files for me. So I have written a prompt: organize all the files in this folder by file type, create these subfolders, documents, where all these type of files should go into documents folder, these type of files should go into spreadsheet folder, and JPG, GIF or PNG files should go into images folder, and archives for RAR files or zip files. And that's what I want this Cowork to do. I can choose model from here. So Opus 4.8, Sonnet, and I can choose this option: effort, low, medium, high, max. So the various combination you do, it depends on the token consumption, like how much token are getting consumed depending on the model you choose and the options that you choose. So I'll keep it low for now, and we'll see how it works. So you can see it had started working on it. It is running some commands, some scripts behind the scene. And remember, the folder this particular folder only it will work. Then it is showing you the progress, creating subfolders, moving files to appropriate folder, and creating summary report. So it has identified and planned the task according to 3 milestones. First is like creating subfolders, which is done. You can see the progress here. Then it is right now moving the files, which is also completed. Now you can just quickly go, while this is working, you can quickly go and grab a glass of water or have your tea or coffee, and it is working effortlessly without you requiring it to control. So it has given a text file summary also. It has used 9 tools, ran 4 commands. Click on this, you will be able to see what were the tools and how it has arrived at this particular decision. Done, 5 files were moved, 2 files to documents folder, 3 files to image. Remaining 6 files did not match any of the 4 target category and were left as it is. So we could have specified, like, if you don't find any of the files matching to the target category, please create a miscellaneous folder and then move them to a miscellaneous folder, and that can be our follow-up prompt. And let's see, you can do this follow-up prompting as well, and it should work. I'll move the summary back to the root since it's a report for the whole folder, and the rest of the files it has moved. So let's see this. We will see the summary instruction also, but for now let's see the folder. You can see, right, folder organizer, this is the folder. It has moved to these documents into this archive. There is archive folder is empty because there is nothing called zip or rar files. Then summary file is here in the root folder, and all the rest of the file which it could not match and categorize to our respective folder, it has moved to them in the miscellaneous folder. This is one of such work which you can let Cowork do. It is perfectly interacting with your local system and the model, and it is taking action based on your instructions. So if we talk about the summary file, if you read the summary file, it has clearly summarized all these things. What were the files, how many files processed, how many files moved to the respective folders, not moved, and all that stuff. This was very simple task, right? You will not use Cowork for just doing a simple task, but sometimes when we are working on our system from a couple of years and a few of the folders and in the downloads folder or maybe desktop, there is a lot of cluttered data or unorganized data that you can help to organize it for you. Within minutes it will be able to do that. So that is very good use case, one-time use case. Then if you want to give it more capability, more options, then what you can do is you can try to add skills, connectors, and plugins. Now what are these? Skills are pre-built instructions that tell Cowork how to do specific tasks, like a recipe book. These are public skills for making Word documents, PDFs, presentations. You can also create your own skills by clicking on add a skill. That's a topic altogether, a different topic for a dedicated video. Then the option of connectors. This is how Cowork talks to other applications. Like for example, if you want to connect to Gmail or Slack or Notion or Google Drive, so you can do that with the help of a connector. If you're coming from Microsoft ecosystem, you very well know the concept of crypto. But if you don't come from that background, still just think of it as a application, let's say Slack, Salesforce, Notion. And if you want your Cowork assistant to talk to those applications and fetch some data for you or write some data into those applications, those things you can manage through with the help of connectors. So there are a lot of built-in connectors already available within cloud. If you click on manage connectors, you can see that option. Then we have plugins. Plugins extend what Cowork can do. Think of it like a Chrome extension. You can browse plugins and you will find a lot of plugins that are already developed and available for you to consume. You can just click on this plus icon and this is available for you to use. If you want to go and add a connector, you can see it from here. There are plenty of connectors available which are already developed by the partners, and some are developed by Anthropic. So these are a dedicated topic. I'll be creating some separate videos specifically on connectors, plugins, and skills. Now coming back to what else you can do with Cowork, I'll just give you a few more examples. Let's click on new task and just paste the use cases that I want to share. So you can ask it to create a visual report if you want some very good report to be presented. If you have got some raw notes from your meeting, your client work meeting or something like that, and you want to turn that out in a very clean, neat HTML summary, that you can specifically give an instruction and a prompt and it will create that summary for you. You can tweak that results if you're not happy, and you can do a follow-up prompting as well and instructions. Second use case which you can try to build a presentation. If you want to teach a topic or if you want to give a presentation in your office, you give it a topic and ask it to build specific slides, maybe 10 slides, 5 slides or 15 slides, whatever your requirement is. And then you can ask it and give it a follow-up, like please tweak the slides in around this color combination or this theme. You can play around with that. So for example, the example prompt, like very simple example prompt, would be create a 5-slide presentation on top 3 AI tools for small businesses, and it will come up with this. We'll try one of these. Then third use case could be a personal productivity, where you ask it to draft emails for you, respond to your emails. You can connect your Gmail account or your Outlook account through the connectors, and try this use case. Then you can also use Cowork for your research and summarization work. Like you can ask it to browse internet, get some content for you by deep researching, and then summarizing all the information, pulling it from various sources and formatting it, and then organizing it under one repository. That also you can do. So let's try it, this one. Give it a topic. Let's give it a topic, create a 5-slide presentation. So let me get rid of this, and I still want to work in the same folder. Allow Claude to change files in this folder. Yeah, we are providing the permission, and I would like to proceed with my instruction. Create a 5-slide deck presentation on the top 3 AI tool for small businesses. So I want the color combination to be used for what's available on my website, similar to that. We can also play around and choose between the models. So it's trying to first fetch the styling from the website that we have provided. If we want it to allow, it is asking for permission to scrape some information regarding the CSS and the styling. Meanwhile, if you want to see this claude.md file, you can click here, and you can also provide some instructions which are specific to this particular session. Meanwhile, it is working. If you want to add more instructions, you can add it here and queue them up. So those will be processed once this task is completed. And in this instruction, we could be as precise as possible. We can give more context. I'm just showing you an example. You can be very much precise, like in the first slide what you want. You can be very much descriptive and provide clear instructions, a detailed instruction, and accordingly it will give you the response or the result. So that's how the Claude is ready, and we have got notification that it needs some input from us, and that's how it has created the slide deck. If you need any modification and you think it has not picked up the right color combination, you can probably provide those information and ask it to tweak it. So it is not always the final result, and you have to live with it. It's not the case. You can again provide instruction to your assistant, and it will help you to rebuild on this. And then you can probably download this file also in Power and open it in a PowerPoint. So yeah, that's how it has prepared the file. I'll paste all those kind of use case instructions in the description, and you can have a look at it. And please feel free to try with your personal use cases, and share in the comments what did you try and how did you find Cowork working on those particular asks. Quick warning: 2 mistakes I see people make. Number 1, vague prompts. Don't just provide vague prompts like help me with my work and these are the files. Please be specific. Give the context, what you want to achieve, and give all the context, all the necessary information that is relevant for you to do that work. Number 2, not verifying outputs. Claude is smart and it produces results fast, but it's not perfect. Always read what has been produced. Consider it like a smart intern. They're good, but you always need to review the work they are doing. So kindly make sure to review before directly sending it to someone or directly acting upon the results. So that's everything you need to start. Download Cowork by visiting claude.ai/downloads. Opt for the minimum plan, $20 plan, and get started. Try it with one of the use case shown in this video, and get started with either your personal productivity or kind of a research work or kind of a presentation work, whichever is beneficial. If you want me to dive into a specific use case, comment that, and I'll try my best to create a dedicated video on that particular topic. That's all for this video. Thank you so much. Please feel free to share this among your friend circle, among your colleagues, and please subscribe to the channel in case you haven't. Thank you so much.